Hi everyone, welcome to Not Defining. It's Mark here. I hope you're doing so well. This is the place where we delve into issues of sexuality, sex, gender, love, relationships, mental health, and so much more so that you can find your best self however you define. You don't have to be LGBT. We are all just here for you. So today I want to talk about some of the main HOCD compulsions that I see or that I have myself experienced. And I hope that these will really help to validate our experience and make us feel less alone. Before I start, I just want to mention that if you are suffering from HOCD or other related symptoms, then please get some medical advice. Go to see your GP. This is just a bit of a guide. If you want to find out about HOCD or sexual orientation OCD, then check out this video here. But we're going to jump straight into the first one. The first compulsion is researching obsessively online. Okay, so what will often happen is that you'll be suffering from HOCD or other obsessive intrusive thoughts about your sexuality. Okay, doesn't matter what label it is. And you will go online, you will go on Google, you will start typing in, am I gay, am I straight? You might start doing those gay quizzes and bisexual quizzes or are you straight quizzes. We've all seen them. And you will start doing this more and more and more. You might go to different social media accounts. You might try to kind of listen to people online. You may even be watching this YouTube video as part of an HOCD compulsion to try to work out whether or not you are indeed gay or straight or whatever it is. I want to let you know that if you are doing this, then it's absolutely okay. You're very, very welcome here. I've got lots of content on HOCD and other kind of anxieties around our sexuality. So if you're not subscribed, come and join us. Write in the comments if you're struggling, because I can hopefully provide you with some help. But the way to kind of know if this is, I guess, a real problem, this is something like OCD, or whether you're just trying to find out useful information, is ask yourself, can I stop? Right? And if the answer is no, if it feels really not good to stop, that may be an indication that there's a problem there. You can also ask yourself the question, do I want to be doing this? Right? If you are enjoying just finding out about sexuality and getting information and listening to YouTube channels and stuff like that, then that's great. But if this feels like almost like an addiction, like something you don't want to be doing, but you feel like you have to, once again, you may have an issue there and you can come and get support. The last question I would ask myself is, how much time am I spending doing this? You know, you might spend half an hour watching some stuff, looking up information, but if you're spending a lot of time doing this, maybe every day, maybe for hours on end, once again, you may want to just have a think about, you know, am I really in control of this researching online or not? It's worth mentioning that another aspect of this is seeking obsessive reassurance. And this can come in the form of asking friends, family, or perhaps your partner, am I gay, am I not? But it could also translate into the online space. So, you know, you might be on a social media platform, you might be speaking to people online. People come to me and ask me, you know, am I gay? Do I have HOCD? Could I be straight? Could my sexuality change? Lots of different questions. And it's very clear to me, because I've done it for a long time, like who are those people who are genuinely asking and who are the people who are maybe, you know, struggling with a compulsion episode. So if you're constantly asking reassurance, am I gay, am I straight, am I bi, am I this, am I that, you may be struggling, and there's help there for you. The next compulsion that I want to mention is testing out your sexuality. So sometimes when we are suffering from this, what we will do is we will kind of get with a guy or get with a girl, and we'll kind of test obsessively what our feelings were. So we might kind of go on a date with a guy, and then afterwards we will have a huge obsessive episode about like, okay, well, was I into him? Was he into me? How did I feel? What was going on? Like, was I sexually attracted? Was it romantically attracted? You know, how was it? And then you might go with a girl and have the whole process over and over again, and you will then compare the two. And what does this mean? Does this mean I'm gay? Does this mean I'm straight? Does this mean I'm bisexual? Does this mean I'm asexual? Does this mean... Okay, so this is often a common compulsion. If you're going through that, it's okay, but that's something that I see quite a lot. The next one is looking at adult content and obsessing over it. So a lot of the time what will happen is that we will try to test out our sexual attractions. And so we might look at a piece of adult content and try to think about how we feel. So are we excited by it? Yeah, are we aroused by it? If we are, what is it about that piece of content that we are aroused by? If it's a man and a woman, are we looking at the woman more, or are we looking at the man more? And if so, what does that mean? Yeah, what aspect of it is interesting us? You know, maybe it's a feminine man or a more masculine woman. Maybe it's more than two people. Maybe it's one person. What does that mean? All of this stuff is really, really common, and it's horrible because, I mean, there is no answer. You're just enjoying looking at a piece of content. The next common HOCD compulsion is trying to obsessively control your self-pleasure. Oftentimes when we find that we're aroused by certain stimuli, we can fear actually having an orgasm or actually becoming physically aroused. And so whenever we are, we get obsessive. And what can then happen is that we start to overthink whether we're aroused or whether we're having self-pleasure or whether we're orgasming or whatever it is. And we can try to do things like, okay, well, what if I do this when I'm aroused? Or what if I do that? Or what if I don't finish? Or what if I, resist it? Or what if I abstain? Yeah, or what if I think about something else? And we try to control in this really complex, obsessive way, like the way that our body is becoming aroused by certain genders. This can be, once again, incredibly stressful, incredibly painful, and unfortunately is more of a compulsion, aka a symptom of OCD type behavior. By the way, I just want to mention, if you're struggling with this and you'd like a mentor to write into any time of day or night, you can come and join our Patreon community. We have group chats with other people. There are people who have gone through this. We're all a community. You can write me questions, and I also talk about lots of different deep and detailed experiences on my podcast. It's patreon.com/notdefining. You can come, get dedicated advice from me, and I would be so happy to see you there. The next one is obsessive writing down. Okay, so a lot of people, they will note down things. So what might happen is they have what they think is an attraction to the same gender, let's say, and they go, oh, right, okay, let me write down everything about that. Okay, they write it down, and then maybe they write it down again, or maybe they're trying to make sense of it, and they're like, okay, how did it feel? Where was I? What type of person was it? How did, was I aroused? Once again, to what extent was I aroused? And how was this different to another time? And they'll try to obsessively write down notes to try to understand exactly, obsessively, everything about that situation and why it was or wasn't homosexual or heterosexual, or what it meant. Yeah. And you can go over and over and over the notes, repeat them in your mind. Maybe you will get extremely stressed or anxious if you don't have the notes on you at all times. This was one of mine, and it was just so all-consuming. Another thing that can happen is just repeating things in your mind. Yeah, you might think that if you repeat something over and over, it will make you not gay, or it will make you not straight, or whatever it is. By the way, HOCD or SOOCD, it doesn't have to be worrying about being gay, or it can be just any obsessive compulsive disorder focused on the nature of your sexuality. And the final thing to say is that this is just a selection of some of the ones that I've come across. OCD is OCD, so there can be all manner of compulsions. It can be completely unique to you, but if the underlying fear is one connected to your sexuality, then you can have any kind of compulsion, from walking in a certain way to tapping in a certain way, twitching or moving things or cleaning things or whatever. It could be anything, okay? So once again, if you're suffering with any of this, or you know someone who is, then please share this video, comment, click subscribe, because we've got loads more coming out. Please come and join us on Patreon and support our community so we can help more people. Thank you so much. I love you all, and write in the comments and I will get straight back to you. If you'd like to know more about HOCD, then check out this entire playlist on the topic. Anyway, have a great day, and I'll see you again soon.